All right, guys, for this video, little live stream, I'm going to share my bench press, my technique. It's just not like one technique, but I'm going to show you everything that involves the bench press. This is going to help the bench presser who wants to bench press long term to avoid from getting hurt. But then when we get older and we realize we have limited range because of things that have happened throughout our lives, how we work around that without hurting ourselves. So that's what this live stream is all about. And I see that, well, we have no viewers on. Oh, hey, Rev Tyree's on, my good buddy Rev. It's good to see you, brother. So I'm going to be, when I look at my comments, it'll be on my smartphone because my screen is over there. So Rev, it's good to see you, brother. So, all right, so this video is not going to be for everyone, but as my channel starts getting more in depth on the strength training side of things, these videos, these live streams will probably catch on quite a bit more. And the first thing I'm just going to tell everybody is I'm not coming across with this as a, guys, I'm not a professional. I don't have any kind of degree in athletics. I'm not a bodybuilder, not a power lifter, but I am a person that for 44 years have been lifting weights consistently throughout my life. And I came to a point in my life where I have most of my range of motion with everything. I've never had to have a joints operated on, nothing operated on, nothing like that. And so I just want to pass this on down to those who want to get into this. One thing I've noticed since I've been putting these strength training videos out, I'm starting to see more videos in the feeds. And I see a lot of these people getting hurt at the gym for crazy reasons. And some of the reasons I just can never imagine myself doing a lot of this stuff. So take what you want, leave what you don't. Okay. So okay. All right, Rev, it's good to see you. So okay, before I get into really getting into my bench press, I want to get into um, share with you some things that I do that prepares me before I even sit down and bench. The first thing is you want to stretch out really good. I probably will do some videos showing you some of the stretching I do. I did just recently learn one move last week that's really helped me so far with my shoulder. I was really impressed with what this guy showed me. Um, so some things that I do is I do stretch out. I do. It's important that you do that. Whatever range of motion you're going to end up with later in life, you want to take advantage of all that real estate. All right. But you got to understand something. Just because you have this range of motion doesn't mean you're going to have full range of motion this way. So what you don't want to do is just take it for granted that because we have this range of motion, we can lay right down on the bench and take right off and have that range of motion that we did before we ended up getting hurt or maybe years earlier in your life. Okay. So I will show you some things on the bench press that will help you to work around a shoulder impingement, shoulder pain, that type of thing. So the first thing when you bench press, you always want to set yourself up the same to repeat it exactly the same. So what you wear is key in your proper technique, okay? I'm not saying what you wear is key for a major lift, because your major lift is going to come down the road. First, you have to develop proper technique. Form is everything. Form is more important than weight. Form is more important than being looking really good. You have to start with form. All right. So your shoes, your belt, your gloves. Do you have to wear a belt bench pressing? You don't. You don't have to. I do. I always have. I'm 58. I have a really super strong and healthy back. I have no issues with my back. None. And I can stand on my feet all day long and no issues with my back. I'm going to show you something that my belt does for me when I lay back on the bench. Okay. So, but you don't have to. It's for the bench press, that's up to you. When you start getting up in weight, I would definitely get the belt on. Okay. Now, you'll hear people say something, and this is totally wrong. People will say if you train with your belt on, then you're going to have a weak belt with our weak back with the belt off, doing everyday things. No, you won't. Okay. Um, you won't. I do everyday things with my back. Always have. I can go out and dig a 3 foot hole. I can push wheelbarrows all day, and I've never hurt my back. But what lifting does is teach me the proper technique. See, there's that word, technique. The proper techniques, the proper form. When you do that in the gym, when you're outside working, lifting center blocks, you're going to lift those properly. Okay. So what the belt does is it keeps you from overtraining that weakest point in your back. But there's another thing, and I want you to remember this. There has been times in my life where I was doing something, say, out in the field working, and when it started getting a little heavy, I went and I put my belt on. I used to work part time doing construction, and I always had a lifting belt in my truck. Kept an old lifting belt in there, and when things started getting heavy, I'd walk over, put that belt on, and I would power through the job. And the guys, they was, that they said that's actually pretty smart. Yeah, smart, because and some of the older guys said, yeah, I wish I'd have done that years ago. So as far as a belt goes, a belt is it's a tool for you to lift weights. Okay, it's a tool to keep you from getting hurt. So now your shoes. Your shoes are really important. I didn't. Hey, we got Michael Hurtnick. Brother, it's good to see you. So I'm wearing these. These are really cool shoes. These are Otomix shoes. They're cool. They're really cool. I ordered these. I didn't put a link in the description box below. They're Otomix. Go check them out. I'll put a link in the description box after this. These are really cool shoes. I really like them. I bought them because I can really get into my heavy bag when I want to kick it. And I like it. But the thing is with your shoes are everything, especially when you're squatting or deadlifting. You want foot pattern to always be the same. Remember, you're going to return to the same position for the same lift, but more weight. Well, your shoes, in a minute, we're going to lock our shoulder blades in, and we're going to use our shoes for that. And in your mind, you want your body going right into that same hold position, especially if we want to do a static lift. I'll show you a static lift, okay? So then your gloves, whether it's a lot of weight or little weight, get your gloves on, okay? Now, I don't wear my gloves when I'm doing a lot of like back exercises, because I try to get my hands on that bar and build my strength based off that. But now my weight's coming up enough that not only do I really need these, but I need to start pulling my lifting straps into it. All right. And I want to say something to all the older guys. So now I've been 3.5 months into really pushing the weight. I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and my joints are actually feeling better. It's like, just if you're wondering, well, what would strength training do for you? I'm starting to put muscle on, and my fat's starting to go down, and my joints are feeling better. That it's like the muscle, it's going back to what it kind of used to be for me, and I feel better that way. So anyway, so first off, you want to stretch out, you want to gear up, and then we're ready to get down to business on the bench. So right now, what I have, and I'll put a link in the description box below for this. This is pretty cool. This is by Hoist. Up on the bench there, I have an additional mechanism I can put in here, so I can do my leg extensions and my leg curls. So this bench here, it will work for a decline bench press, and the decline is enough to hit the chest just the way you want, and I can incline. Now, just so the viewers know, for my chest, I have always done bench press, decline, and incline. I've always done those, and I've got good shoulders, okay? There's a way I do my overhead bench like this that protects my shoulder. As far as incline bench, I do incline, decline, and of course regular. If you hit all three of those, there's not much else you really have to do to get strength and size in your chest. So now what I'm ready to do, I'm ready to lay back. What my preference would be just a regular 4-foot bench, and that's on my list. Rogue has one. I'll put a link in the description box below for that. Rogue has a bench. It's just a straight 4-foot bench. I believe it's 17 inches high, very high quality. This one has a seat in the middle, and it's adjustable, so I have a little space there, but it will work. So I'm going to go ahead and lay back. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, you asked, should you wear your belt? I use my belt for total stability. Like right now, my back and my side to side, I'm really solid, so that's going to build in a good platform for my lower back, for my hips and my legs. All right, and my belt's not overly tight. I can suck it in and go a little tighter, but I really don't have to. If I'm going to start getting my weights up there, then I can pull my belt tighter. Okay, so now I'm square on the bench, and where I put my eyes, when I'm looking, I'm just past the bar, this side of the bar. If you're this side of the bar, you're too far back on the bench. If you are too far down, then you're too far away from the bar. So what I do is my eyes are going to go right up past that bar on this side. And what that's going to do, that's going to set me up for a safe mount of the bar. And I'll get into that for you so you don't get hurt. Okay. So now I've got my eyes in just where I want them. So now I have to grip my bar. Okay. So I've just got a minimal amount of weight. I didn't want to do just the bar because I want a little stability in it. But I did chest yesterday. Okay, so I will tell you this. Your muscles need about 72 hours recoup time. You're not building muscle in the lift. You're building muscle in the rest. So during that 72 hours, your muscles are rebuilding themselves. So what you don't want to do is work out one day and the next day come and hit that muscle hard. It could be a secondary muscle you're hitting, but you don't want to hit it hard, such as guys that rip their biceps, which happened to me. You go in heavy and hard on arms and back one day, next day you go in and you just do something that overworks that bicep and you tear it. So you don't. So today, my chest is just shredded. So I'm not going to put a lot of weight on this bar. So I want you to think in terms of that. Give yourself 72 hours and eat, consume protein, consume. Okay. So I'm going to lay back, and the first thing I'm going to do is position my eyes. And now I'm ready to grab my bar. Okay. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about where you're going to put your hands. You have to decide where you want your hands. The further out you go on that bar, the more you're putting on the shoulder. That's a very bad thing for longevity. You'll see guys do that because they're pushing a lot of weight. They'll go really wide on that. But a lot of those guys end up having major shoulder surgeries, or they wear those heavy lifting jackets to support that. But our shoulder really wasn't designed to push the weight this way. It's totally against what our shoulder does. So what happens is when we bench, we come down like this. Initially, it is your shoulders that's pushing from here to here. Once we get here, now your pecs take over, okay? Imagine this move, that's all pec. So if we lock it on the bar and we're coming up here, that's all pec, okay? So the further I come in, the less I'm straining on my shoulders outward, and now the more I'm pushing off with my triceps and finishing off with my pecs. So a really good bench is one that works the triceps hard and pulls through with working your pecs. And think about your bench. I do bench, incline, and decline. I'm hitting upper, mid, and lower pecs, and my triceps working through all those. So you're going to get an ultimate tricep workout and an ultimate bench press workout, okay? So for me, what I do is I do the karate chop method. This ring, the centermost ring, I come in like this, all right? And I just come folded like that. If you're a smaller frame person, pull in a half of an inch and a half of an inch. Okay? Now, the reason I put the word techniques in the title is sometimes, more often than not, I will pull in an inch and I will bench press this way because now I'm really tagging a lot of triceps. Now it's mostly tricep moves, and my chest really isn't pulling into play. All right. So your bench press, you can actually adjust your hand position to strengthen either the uh, the pec or the tris. If you notice, okay, if you notice you're having difficulty here with your tris, then pull in about an inch, all right, and do your tris closer. Run that for 2 or 3 weeks and get some strength in your tris, and that will really improve your bench press, okay? And you can revisit that. So for just the standard bench press now, I'm going to pick a spot where my hands are. So I'm working my triceps and my chest in a way that is a total strength move, okay? And that's going to have to be your journey of where you're grabbing. If I was with someone, I could help them, but I'm a little wider than shoulder, not much, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is as I'm setting up like this, and I got my bar, now what I'm doing is my eyes are just this side of the bar, okay? And I'm picking a line on the ceiling. And I have a lot of straight lines. And what I'm going to do, you'll see people on their bench press and they'll come down and maybe their right stronger than their left or their left stronger than their right. What I do is I visually pace my bar. In other words, I'm going to hold it true to the lines. And that's going to tell me where I'm at, okay? So it would be something like this. So as I'm coming down, see if I wanted, I could do this. I could struggle. Or I could do this. Okay? That's a big difference. Okay? So now when we're lifting, we have that visual on the ceiling and we're pacing it. All right. Now I'm going to say this. When you're bench pressing, sometimes guys will get in the argument of where you're putting your hands for your back strength. Let your back workout be where you build your back strength. I'm just going to tell you that. Sometimes I notice guys don't kind of rabbit trail on that for the bench press. Let your back workout dictate your back workout, and let your bench press dictate your chest and tries. Okay. All right. So back to it. Now, now I'm going to show you how I would not bench press. Okay. How I would not bench press is like this. I would bench press more like this. This is what's going to hurt your shoulder. This is what's going to give you your full range of motion, or if you've hurt your shoulder somewhere in life, it's going to give you the range that you can still achieve, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set my hands. I've got my feet. And the next thing I'm going to do is my shoulder blades. I want to suck my shoulder blades in. It's almost like you could put a golf ball in the center of my back, and I would touch it, but I really wouldn't be. There's like a gap there, okay? Because I'm on my shoulders, okay? If you do this, if you're flat on your back and you bench this way, if you bench just flat on your back this way, you're probably going to hurt your shoulder sooner or later, okay? Now watch. Okay, so I got my feet up under me. I've got an arc in the middle of my back, and I'm on my shoulder blades. Now, when I come down, I'm not doing this. Okay, I'm not doing that because right out there I feel it. But if I go like this and I tuck my arms in, Okay? Nice and smooth. Now, the next thing I'm going to point out to you is when you are re-racking the bar, this is huge. Okay, one, I have my spotter arms on. I would not have a bench press setup at home where I'm lifting by myself without spotter arms or mechanical spotters, whatever you want to call them. But one of the things I really disliked about the gym towards the last, I'm going to say 10 years, is so many people are in the gym and they're just walking around. And here you got 405 pounds on the bar, and you got people just walking by your bar that far away, and they could bump it, and no one cares. And it's really hard to find a good spotter on the bench press, okay? And so now I'm here at home where I love it. Well, I would never not have my spotter arms, okay? That's the only way to go. So now I'm going to show you a few things. Set up with my eyes. That's huge. That's huge. I have my spotter arms, and then I have my J hooks. In a moment, I'm going to show you what I don't like about these J hooks. I put a link in the description box below to a Rogue rack. The Rogue rack, that rack, I'm kind of tossed between some awesome racks. It's like every week that I think, well, no, I want this one. No, I want that one. But the one that I put in the description box, that's the one I keep returning back to, okay? I'm going to show you in a minute what I don't like about these J hooks, but let's talk about where you want your J hooks at. So one cool advantage to having your own gym is if you have multiple people and you want to set these J hooks up, well, it's going to have to be, set for the guy with the shortest arms. That's just how you're going to have to do it, which that's okay. But for me, I want it to where I have the least lift off, and when I return it, I can just bring it down. And I can do all of that without looking. The best it can be is this. Okay? The best it can be for returning your bar is this. Okay? Now, you did not see me do this to rack it. Okay? Because if I have to lift off and when I come back up, my arms are locked out. When I come back, guess where I am? I'm in my J hooks. Okay? So what you don't want to do is this. This is what you don't want to do. This is a no-no. Okay, you're going to screw yourself up bad if you do this. I'm surprised guys don't get hurt. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. You're doing this and you're slapping it into your J hooks. You're going to take it into the throat sooner or later. If you're doing that, especially if you're close to max or maxing out, if you come up and just throw it into the J hook, you're going to come, bam, sooner or later it's going to come down on you. And you can't stop it, okay? So this is how you want to do it. First off, now I'm ready for my lift. When you pull off, you're going to lock out. Get all the way locked out, right? When you're done, you're going to re-lock out just like this, and then you're going to do that. Now I'm going to tell you why I don't like these J hooks. It's because sometimes I get snagged up on the top of them and then it kerplunks down, and I feel like it's falling on me. So I do have to take a little sneak peek on these. What you want to avoid is this. You want to avoid, as you're coming back, turning your shoulder. See my neck? I now all my geometry's off. As soon as you start turning your neck, then you're dropping your bar on one side. You don't want to do that, okay? So this thought of returning the bar without looking, it scares people. We want to look. It's like, oh, I gotta look because I could miss that J hook. Well, guess what? If you're really working on your technique, you're going to learn. Okay, see how my right side got hooked up there? I wish these J hooks, I wish they went up higher, so when you hit them, you just come all the way down. But anyway, your form dictates your takeoff and your landing. It dictates everything. Now, I want you to notice something. I just scooted up on my bench over the last few pushes because I have my feet planted. Now, if you're flat on your back, you're going to find that you're going to scoot up on your bench more so. But if you watch my shoulder blades, when I dig my shoulder blades in, now I can push with my feet and I'm going to be more stable. I'm not going to scoot that way as much. But over 3 or 4 rackings, I did. So you want to make sure every time you're going to take off on a new lift that your eyes are dead center, and you're going to do it that way every time. If your eyes are not dead center, isn't that going to throw this off? Yes, it will. It will. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to get my eyes set. I'm going to come up. I'm going to grab my bar. Load my shoulders. I got my heels planted, my back arched. Now, air is king. Okay, now, what you're not going to do is this. Don't do that. Okay, you're going to do this. It's like that. Okay. Now I'm clear to bench. So now, one thing you can do, I'm going to show you something that I've done. In the title, I put the word techniques. I'm going to show you this, okay? You can come down like this and touch your chest. But if you want to put mass and size into your tries, stop about an inch above. You want to really tax your triceps, okay? Control your speed. All right. So now what we're doing is we can bench press all the way down, or we can come down and about an inch before our chest, we stop and we take off. So what's happening here? Okay, when we're benching and we come all the way down, we're using a lot of our shoulders now for our brakes and our push off. But if we come down like this and we stop about an inch above, now you're using your triceps for your brakes and the push off. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Hey, our guns, it's good to see you, brother. Now let's build this into it. There's my lift off. Now, I'm going to come down and I'm going to pause it right on my triceps. Total, this is called a static move. Static. Okay, it's the fastest way to tear the muscle down. What would take many, many reps, this could do in minimal reps, okay? It's best if you're going to do a static on your bench to have a spotter or your spotter arms. If you have your spotter arm, you can get out of it. On my spotter arms here, okay, watch this. Figure out exactly where your spotter arms could be. If I come here like this, okay, and I get into trouble, I'm into trouble, okay, I can get out of this, all right? So whether I got to sneak out this way or that way, okay? And now I just want you to watch this. Just watch this. Do you see where I'm at? I could push this. I could, but you're really putting a lot on your shoulders. Come down a little bit. Come under it like that. Okay. So don't try and get the lift off of here. Okay. Another thing. If you're like this, you can shove your weights off. See, I can come under here and I can shove my weights off. Okay, I have if you have cast iron plates and you don't have rubber on the floor, you're probably going to want to go out either way. I just have my concrete, so for me, I'm going to come out either way. But if I had like bumper plates and a rubber floor, or even these, or cast iron and a rubber floor, you're not going to break cast iron. Just shove them off if you're too bound into here. So now I'm coming here like this. I'm going to come here and now I'm going to make my push. Okay. Which is a good reason why it's good to, really practice stopping on your tries and taking off. Because if you get bound up, if you come here, you get bound up, and you can shove just a few plates off. Then you can come here with your triceps, you're back and rolling, okay? So that's just some pointers. I'm sure there will be other things that will come to my mind after the live stream. But those are, okay, one thing I want to say. So now, some lifters, their range of motion. I talked with a guy last weekend, and I just totally agreed with him. He's real knowledgeable on this type of stuff, and helped me with some stretches that really helped me with my shoulders. So the older we get, we have what we call shoulder impingements, which sometimes I get, sometimes I don't. But you have to work based off your range of motion. You'll have lifters say that it's wrong not to go full range of motion. Well, let me tell you what's really wrong is when you go full range of motion and your body, you've heard it, and it's not able to, okay? So if going all the way down like this, if it aggravates your shoulder, then all of my lifts would be like this, okay? Really push your air on these. Pushing your air is going to help you keep the bar even, so either hand doesn't lead or lag. All right, now, for me, I keep my bench press. I do 5 sets of 5 reps. And then after that, I might drop the weights and just pump them out for like 12 reps. But you're going to find the older you get, the more that high reps are going to bother you. If the high reps bother you, then pull it down to 5 sets of 5, going heavy. All right. Um, if you can pull it off going high reps, I would highly encourage that because that's building into your stamina, movement of air, and that's when we can really watch our form the best. All right. But on your strength training, it's really important that when you are only running lower reps, okay, I want to say something. I personally avoid anything less than 5 reps. Okay. I think the two things that's going to hurt your joints as you're getting older is too high reps and too many. When I say too many, I'm like, if you're doing 12 reps over time, 12, 12, 12, 12, they're just additive on your joints. If you feel it hurting, cut it back. But the other thing that's going to hurt your joints is too much weight and too low a rep. In other words, if I can't do it in 5 reps, I'm not going to do it. So I used to do 405 6 times, and it was an accident because all my minimums were 5 reps when I was pushing heavy. Well, when I went to my 405, in my mind I said I'm going to do this 5 times, but I did it 5 times, and I knew I had another. I mean, you know if you got it, and I did another one, and then I got that one. I said, that's it. I knew that was it for me, right? But I went for it, and I pushed it through. So 405 6 times. So in my life, I always, for getting my mass, went for the higher reps. Higher reps is what's going to get you more ripped. It's going to put some mass on there. But your lower reps of 5 for 5 sets, that's what's going to build muscle and strength. So I think if you find a happy medium between the two of those, I think that's a nice place to be. Now, if you can't do the higher reps because you're older, your joints hurt, then stick with 5 sets for 5 reps and gradually work on just inching your weight up to, what you don't want to do. Let's say you're just starting out bench pressing in life, you're later in life, and let's just say your max is 200 pounds, but you didn't know. You're like, I don't know what my max is going to be. Well, so I would start out with the bar. And if you can do, 12 reps with the bar, great. Warm up, call it a warm up. But then you put a quarter on each side. And now you get 5. You know what I would do? I would bump it minimally so you get 5 sets of 5s. And let's say you maxed out at 155, but you really could have maxed out at 2. That's okay. Now the next week you're going to bump all that 10 pounds to where you're going to max out at 165. When really you could have went to 200, but that's okay. You're training your muscles. Once you get to the 200 where you could have originally done that, now you have a track record of how much you can increment up. So now when you get to the 200, you know something. All I got to do is sneak 10 pounds on, and next week I'll do the 210. So that week you do the 210. And it goes like this. So I do chest and back. I'm sorry, chest, triceps, and shoulders. I do back and biceps and forearms. And then I do hips and legs. And then I rest. So that means every 5th day, you're going, if you don't build muscle when you work out, you build muscle when you rest. So at the end of that cycle, you're ready to, you don't have to wait a week. You could be back at it between 4 and 5 days and stack 10 more pounds on. And you could keep stacking weight on until you get to the point where you're now plateaued. Hey, that could be 350 pounds for you. Or you could get to a point and say, well, my shoulders, they won't take it, but I really liked that 200 I was at. I think I'll stay there. And so now, guess what? You're stronger. 200 pounds is stronger than 135. 200 pounds after you've done 5 sets of 5 is a better endurance rate than you were when you didn't know what you were going to lift. So what we've done here is we've taken proper technique, we haven't fudged, we've held our technique, and we've paced ourselves all the way up to wherever you want to max out at, and you're going to feel better. And what you're going to realize is your muscles are going to start growing solid. They're going to start supporting your mass as opposed to your joints supporting your mass. Over years, we lose muscle mass and we began being joint on joint. But when we start working our muscles start pushing up. And now that's lifting our joints. And now we're walking and we're feeling better and we're stronger. Okay? You've never, you ever hear people win a fight due to a lack of strength, right? Strength is awesome. Strength is great. I'm not saying strength to go lift a Volkswagen. I'm saying strength to where a woman can grab a stack of plates and put them up in her shelf. To where a man can lift an object and put it up on a shelf. We learn that, we are not going to put something on the shelf like this. Instead, we're going to put something on the shelf like that. That's what strength training teaches us. Strength training teaches us the proper techniques. So when we're in the house and something is higher up here and we have to retrieve it and put it back, we're not going to do this like Mr. Universe. We're going to put away like this, okay? So those are my bench press techniques. That's how I've always done it. I'm 58, never blown a shoulder. There's another thing that can happen, and that is you can really hurt your elbows bench pressing without a doubt. And so these techniques that I'm showing you have worked for me. They were techniques that I learned from people that were professionals in the world and from reading, right? So there we go. All right. That's the end of my live stream, man. I didn't even realize I was going to do a live stream today. And I thought, well, if I'm going to have a strength training channel, it's okay if I want to live stream every once in a while, right? Different crowd of guys. So there we go. So, all right. Who do we got on? We got 7 people. I can't believe that 7 people would take the time to visit my channel, and I just want to thank you guys. So I see we got Rep Tyree, Michael Hurtneck, AR Gun 1776. I appreciate you, brother. And so there we go. So it's Labor Day weekend. BSU's playing today. I got my BSU watch. It's a blue and orange watch. I've got that on, and me and Miss Highboy, we're gonna have some barbecue while we do the game, or maybe some pizza. I don't know. What are you guys gonna have today? Hey, Michael, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You guys want to know something? If I could be honest here, I woke up this morning and I thought, I'm gonna live stream. This would be kind of cool. Strength training live stream. And as I was progressing through my day, into the morning, I started saying, no, don't. You're not a professional. You're not a bodybuilder. You haven't competed. What do you know? I started doing that to myself. Then I stopped and said, no, no, no. That's not how I'm going to operate. You know what? If you believe in something, the toughest critic we have is ourselves. Don't ever allow your negativity to detract from your goal. You you're gonna blaze on, man, and that's what I'm gonna do. And some guys might laugh at me, but I will tell you, I find that there's two kind of guys that's gonna laugh at you. Some guys are on massive steroids, and other guys that they just want to laugh at you because they're jealous, right? But the information I put in this video, man, that's the information that was given to me 44 years ago. Working out at a gym with a guy that built his own gym and gave me a free membership until I was out of high school. And I was lucky enough to have power lifters kind of take me in under their wings, show me the correct moves, show me the core moves, show me what mattered. And if I can pass that on to someone else, I did a very good thing in the world. So there we go. We got tacos and French fries, brother. Hey, tacos, French fries. I appreciate that. I love you, brother. I love all you guys. So, oh man, stuffed salmon and veggies and a salad dinner. Man, alive, that sounds pretty good. I do have salmon in there. I got a big old salmon steak. I'll bet we might do that. We might. So, all right, guys. Yeah, Michael Herdnick. Why can't we all just be kind to each other? So much nicer. I will tell you something. Uh, Reloaders were always the nicest people, and they still are. Reloaders were and have been interesting people. You know what a reloader's like? A reloader is like you got a guy driving down the street in a hot rod he built, and man, it looks good. Oh, it looks so good. And some guy comes alongside of him with a hot rod that he's trying to get together, and he's a long way from perfect. And he says, "Man, can I pull over and look at your car?" And he says, "Yeah." And he pulls over, and he gets to show him the car, and he shows him everything he does, and they become friends, and he helps him get his hot rod where his is at. And the reason is because someone helped this guy, and that's what reloaders have always been. Reloaders have always been the kind of people that when you meet them, hey, what are you loading, and how are you getting those shot groups, and what have you done to your rifle to get there? What optics are you using? And that's why I always say never look down on someone unless you're looking back to help them up. And no matter what we do, I have viewers all the time that come in and take swings at me, and I just delete them off the channel. And I'm not going to let those people get to me because people like Michael Hurtnick that believe the same way I believe, and that's what we have to be in the world, and that's called the shining light. So, Oliver Anthony, I'll check that out. Okay, guys, so here we are. Thank you for being a guest on my first strength training live stream. Look forward to more. I'm not a professional, but we'll have a good time. That's what it's about. So, all right, we're out in 3, 2, 1, and I got to run over there. You guys have a good day, man. You guys mean so much to me, and I'm certainly humbled. All right, got my water. I'm out.